Welcome to TechView.com, your solution providers. This is Abhishek, and today we're going to be exporting images in Lightroom. So basically there are two features of exporting image. Either we can export image and save it as a raw or any other file format that we want, or we can export an image to another software like Photoshop for further editing and further tweaking of our images. So the first thing that we're going to do is go to our preferences over here and go to external editing. Now these settings are one of the most important settings that we want to make sure that are well observed and when oriented according to our export and according to our uses of the image. So for file format, if we know that we want to use our image for a Photoshop, then we can simply select a PSD file or rename it to the TIFF. The TIFF is actually one of the most heaviest file format, and because it contains most of the information that an image has. And for color space, we can actually use ProPhoto RGB or Adobe RGB 1998. The ProPhoto RGB is actually the heaviest file format, and it contains way more information. So if we want, we can use Adobe RGB 1998 for normal editing, but for printing and professional work we can also select ProPhoto RGB file format. And the bit depth is actually the depth ratio of pixels in our image. So if we want our image to be to have more information for editing and other purposes, then we want to make sure that we select 16-bit per component of bit depth. And resolution is simply we can set it to anything that we want, and in compression we can either have zip or none, but that is actually not important part. The next important thing is that we can either stack our original image with the new image that we export or uncheck it to make sure that each image is different and on its own. Now we can either create a template file name for our images. For example, if we want, we can add any preset name that we want, and that is actually gonna create a preset for us. As you can see in example, if we want our new images to have any particular file format or preset, then we can select it and click on done. But we're gonna leave it for now and then click OK. So that was our basic export editing, and now if we want to export a particular file, then we can simply select it and click on export over here. Now if we want to export to hard drive, we're going to select hard drive and export it to a specific folder which we can choose from here, whichever one we want. Now more importantly, the image sizing is one of the most important features that we want to make sure that we select according to our needs. Now we can also select file naming if we want, and as I just showed you, we can have a predefined set of instructions so that every image that we export has a preset on it in order to make sure that we find it easily. And since we are not using a video, we can just leave the video section right here. Now image sizing, one of the most important aspects of our image. If we don't want to enlarge our image and make sure that the original aspect ratio of our image is conserved, then we can simply click on don't enlarge, or we can actually change the width and height of our image as we want in case we wanted to. And the most normal resolution is 300, so we're gonna make sure that the resolution is 300 too. And furthermore, we can make sure that we select long edge in the resize to fit option, and what this does is it makes sure that if there are portraits and landscapes in a particular image, then it makes sure that the longer edge, if it is a portrait, that would be height, or if it is a landscape, that would be its breadth, is selected, and according to that the image sizing is done. Now we can also include our metadata of the original image, which is the basic information like captions or titles, and we can conserve it. We can also have a watermark if we want, or leave it to be nothing if we don't want a watermark to be present in our image. And finally, after the post processing, we can either open it up in Adobe Photoshop or do nothing if we don't want our original image to be edited any further. And in the last, we can save all the settings as a preset by clicking on the add button over here, and this gives us a new preset, and we can simply name it whatever we want. To make sure that if we want to export file with these same settings, we can simply go to this preset in the users preset and just click on that to get all these settings automatically. And then we can simply go ahead and click on export to export all our images to hard drive or any other media that we want. So that was our exporting images. And one more thing that we can do is export our image to a further editing software, which we can get by selecting photo, edit in, and then selecting edit in Adobe Photoshop CC. So this opens up our already edited image in Photoshop CC, and we can improve or do further improvements in our image in the Photoshop there. So that was our exporting image in Lightroom. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.